So I was asked to do a problem here. This is 13-5, no, dash 7. Number 5. Use a set of data below to do the following. Draw a scatter diagram. Find the value of R. Determine whether a correlation exists at alpha being 0.05 and determine whether a correlation exists at alpha being 0.01. So for the scatter diagram, we get to pick one. Which one fits? So let's see, x is 22, y is 27. So 22 will be about here. 27, oh, that doesn't fit, so we can just throw this one out. 22 is right about there, and nothing there, okay. 22 is, see, right about there, and oh, that's 27. 33 there, and that corresponds to 30 there, yep. And then we have 30 corresponds to 24, yeah, that's just under 25. And then 42 is a little more than 40, that should correspond to 27, yep, got that. And then 51 corresponds to 26, yep, so this is the one, yay. Now for the calculation, the answer should be negative 0.066. So this is the data. This is the calculation for R. So I copied this into a little table down here. So I can calculate each of these. So our x squared is 22 squared. And that's 484. Then we have 33 squared. That's 1089. Then we have 30 squared. We all know that's 900. And then 42 squared. That's 1764. And then 51 squared is 2601. I'm just going to add those up while I'm at it. So 484 plus 1089 plus the 900 plus 1764 plus 2601. And that gives me the x squared added up to be 6838. Now let's do the y squared. So we have 27 squared is 729. Then we have 30 squared is 900. Then 24 squared is 576. And then 27 again, we already had that at 729. Then 26 squared is 676, so let's add these up. 729 plus 900 plus 576 plus 729 plus 676 is 3,610. Now we're going to multiply 22 times 27 is 594. 33 times 30 is 990. And then we have 30 times 24, 720. 42 times 27 is 1,134. 51 times 26 is 1,326. So I'll add those up. Plus 990 plus 720 plus 1134 plus 1326. That's 4764. Let's add up this column here for the x's. 22 plus 33 plus 30 plus 42 plus 51. That's 178. Let's add up the y's. 27 plus 30 plus 24 plus 27 plus 26. And we have 134. So here everything is summed up, and we need things summed up for putting in this formula here, the R formula. So when I put this in place, and I think one of the biggest areas people are prone to making a mistake is not putting the numerator in parentheses. We have 5 pairs of data, so n is 5. r equals 5 times, so the sum of x, y is 4764 minus the sum of the x's is 178 and the sum of the y's is 134 over, now we'll do the square root of n, which is 5, times the sum of the x squareds, so that's going to be 6838 minus sum of x's that are squared then. Sum of x's, we square that amount. Then the square root of, again, n, which is 5, times the sum of the y's that were squared, 3610, minus the sum of y, 134, and we square that amount. So r equals, let's calculate the numerator, 5 times 4764 minus 178 times 134. And I get negative 32 for the numerator. And we have 5 times 6838 minus 178 squared. So we have the square root of 2506 times the square root of 5 times 3610 minus 134 squared. That's 94. So we have the square root of 2506 times the square root of 94. And I get 485.349. So negative 32 divided by that amount is negative 0.065932. And I imagine they want us to go to the nearest thousand, so negative. Just confirm this. Yep. Negative 0.066. Or the nearest 10th, 100,000th, yeah. Now, that's how we get that calculation. It takes time. Probably not as much time as people tend to think. People try to make these things harder than they need to. But it takes you a few minutes. Now the next part is to answer these questions. This is a pretty small number. Usually you want it to be bigger than like 0.8 or smaller than negative 0.8 for there to be a correlation. This is pretty close to 0, so there's not going to be a correlation in either case, but let's just run through that process. Does it exist at C being 0.05 or 0.0, or A being alpha being 0.05 or 0.01? And we should have a chart attached to this. Here it is. Okay. So we have 5 data points. And we have to be either bigger than 0.878 or less than negative 0.878 for there to be a correlation at alpha being 0.05. And we have to be bigger than 0.959 or smaller than negative 0.959. So we're not meeting the criteria. So the point is R is not, how should I say this? R equals negative 0.066, and negative 0.066 is not less than negative 0.878. Let's do this. Not less than. And negative 0.066 is not less than negative 0.959. So no correlation exists in either case. Okay, and that's how we do this problem. I hope it makes sense.